Today you woke up on a shore, surrounded by strange creatures. You have no idea where you are. By using these tablets, you can figure out how to survive on this island, and even unlock the secrets behind it. Starting off with a long-lost civilization known as the Ancients. They were the ones that came up with the name of the island, Palpagos. The only reason we know of their existence is because of a guy named Born. They figured out how to live alongside and control these creatures they would go on to name Pals. They used these guys to build massive towers. They once held a thriving community. However, there were still groups around the island who weren't okay with the Ancients' control. They battled for a long time, until finally, they came upon a peace treaty. In order to show this declaration of peace, the Ancients and other civilizations would somehow construct awesome obelisks that are rumored to hold some sort of unknown energy that is like ultra powerful, but spoiler alert, that's just a made up story. When the Ancients were still at their peak, they were attacked by a group of celestial pals. The Ancients and other civilizations tried their hardest to fight back, even bringing all of their legendary pals. Pals strong enough to take out most of the island, but still, nothing was enough. Eventually, they were forced to give up. If they couldn't kill it, maybe they could capture it? I don't know. It was a far reach, but they were gonna try it anyhow. So, they tried their hardest to capture this, godlike Pegasus pal, now known as the Frost Alien, and it did not fucking work. Instead, it gets super pissed off and just completely destroys the now once thriving civilization, leaving it in ruins. After the battle's finally over, the Pegasus skedaddles and just leaves the island in an unending winter. So that's not good. However, this winter ended before we showed up, so that's pretty good. Now that the Ancients had lost, they looked around their destroyed kingdom. They knew it had to be done. Most of their people had ran when they first caught wind of the Celestial Pals. Many died during the battle, but the rest stayed with the Ancients. They would decide to devote their lives to building back up their kingdom and preparing for the Celestials' return. They would make their way to an island now known as Faebreak. They quickly dominated it and named themselves the Faebreak Warriors. Meet Zoe Rain. She's a part of the Rain Syndicate, aka Palpagos' #1 illegal poaching unit. Her father runs the group. Him and Born were kind of friends. Born is the owner of Faebreak, so I guess business partners, you could say, but either way, that was all until Born gave her father a task. A task he thought a child could do, but he couldn't do it. He ended up disappearing that day. And worst of all, Zoe never even got to see her mom's face. Now left without any parental figures, and Zoe's group, Rain, being left without a leader, Zoe was forced to step up alongside the remaining Rain members to take back control of Rain and drive the group to better highs. However, one day, Zoe would defy Rain after they captured a Grizzbolt, but something was special about this Grizz, so she decided to unlock its cage, making it her pal. Instead of Rain fully raising her, she also had Grizz, and now they never separate. They fight alongside each other. Now Rain's #1 enemy is the Free Pal Alliance, aka the FPA. The FPA hates Rain strategies. They think pals and humans should be equal. They've been at war for generations, and it'll probably never end. Rain's #1 goal, aka Zoe's father, was to protect the tower located in the windswept hills. Now it's Zoe's job to protect that tower, as she's still under the guise that this tower holds some kind of power. Meet Marcus Dryden, arguably our biggest douchebag yet. He's the leader of the PIDF, a militia group organized to keep peace on Palpagos. However, Marcus is making things a whole lot worse. The PIDF basically act as policemen. They run around, shoot anyone that breaks their unspoken laws, and don't even think about surrendering. If you're wanted, you're dead. There's no getting away. They'll find you no matter what. Other poaching groups do not fly. Anyway, there are two main ways the PIDF keeps operations going. One is the more traditional way of arresting people and basically making them pay their own bail. And that's it. If they can't pay, I don't know, they probably just die. Second is through Marcus's evil schemes. You see, Marcus has been hard at work getting everyone on the island addicted to stimulants, aka uppers, basically implying these guys could very well be addicted to such substances as cocaine, methamphetamine, Adderall, Ritalin, and worst of all, nicotine and caffeine. Yeah, so as insane as all of that is he immediately goes back, after selling the substances to arrest them. Then he takes back the drug, makes them pay to get out of prison, repeating the process over and over. He genuinely thinks he's a genius, and the island is just his sandbox, and honestly, he's kinda achieved that. The PIDF pops up out of nowhere. They ambush you no matter what, and take you out right there. It's pretty terrifying. One time, Marcus found a Rain Syndicate member selling some of his stims, so they took him out, and right after, he fed not Coca-Cola to his Polaris. Meet Lily Everheart. She's the leader of the Free Pal Alliance. She guards the tower located at the Frostbound Mountains. She loves pals, and thinks, well, basically, eating a pal for food is akin to blasphemy against God. Pretty fucking terrifying. She thinks that when you capture a pal, it's like forcing them into slavery, because she's absolutely fucking demented. This woman terrifies me. One day, while she was wandering the island, she found a group of Rain Syndicates attacking this helpless Lylene, so she decided to brutally murder all of them by stabbing each of them through the back. She then ran back to her base, but then the Lylene Queen was already there. She healed Lily's wounds, and they became business partners right there and then. So after this point, all of the Lylenes now work for the FPA. You see what I mean? Now obviously, that's pretty fucking terrifying, but what's really, really terrifying is, that religious text I showed a few minutes ago. Yeah, you remember that? She has 5 of these traditional commandments. You want me to read them all? I'm gonna. 1. Thou must not eat pals. 2. Thou must not overwork pals. 3. Thou must not abuse pals. 4. Thou must not use pals for experiments. 5. Thou must risk thy life to protect pals. As I said, pretty fucking demented. They're basically a cult, while Rain's like a group of self-hired mercenaries. Lily eventually finds a tiny island, which features a ton of unique pals, which couldn't be found on the main island. It was an incredible discovery. These guys had been hidden for so long. So she decides to conquer these mini islands and names them the Wildlife Sanctuaries. But then she goes on to hire the fucking PIDF to stop poachers. Now they have around-the-clock security constantly protecting these unique pals from poachers. Where do they get all their money if they don't capture pals? Great question, and no, it's not by selling natural resources to the merchant in the settlement. They're far too good for that. They raid poachers' bases, steal everything, and come back home with the earnings. This doesn't completely cut it. So they also poach pals, which Lily doesn't know about. They have to do what they have to do though. It's rumored that the FPA and the Rain Syndicate are at war due to the hypocrisy of the FPA, but hey, who the hell really knows? Meet Victor Ashford. He's the leader of the Genetic Research Unit. They do horrifying experiments on the pals. One of the experiments we discover is an experiment made by him. That was trying to combine 4-legged pal species with winged pals, but the experiment didn't go well. The pals either immediately died or, liquefied within seconds. Due to this constant liquid Victor created the Pal Essence Condenser, which is a horrifying contraption that brutally squeezes the life and power of a chosen pal and directly distributes it into a pal of the same species, effectively making the pal even more powerful. After trying the once failed experiment again and again, he finally managed to salvage a lab-made pal. Meet the Shadowbeak. This horrifying creature can only be biologically explained as a walking, squawking abomination. Meet Axel Travers. He was once an assistant to Victor Ashford, but has been driven clinically insane. He ran out one day to begin rap battling pals in the Palpagos. If anybody sees him, please give Victor a call. He's pretty worried. After running for so long, he had no idea where he was anymore. He decided to set up base, and he caught a few pals and established a group with only himself. It's a work in progress, but he named it the Brothers of the Eternal Pyre, and as cool as it sounds, it's another fucking cult. Go figure. What is up with these guys in cults? Anyway, this cult believes that God is fire, so that's pretty cool, I guess. They believe that flames have purifying values. Well, that's not very cool. And he's basically devoted himself to, protecting the Mount Obsidian region. Meet Seiya Kiraasaki. I probably butchered the shit out of that. I'm sorry. She's extremely depressed. It's kind of sad. She's in charge of protecting the tower located in Sakurajima. Now, everybody, and I mean everybody, knows that Palpagos doesn't really pass time. There's a day and night cycle, but once you start to think about it, the moon never fucking cycles. I've been here for like 130 days already, meaning I've just been stuck in the same fucking day loop every day. Yeah, I would be pretty depressed too if I knew different moons existed as well, but guess what? She doesn't, so it should be okay. Oh, wait a minute. You decided to tell her about the crescent moon, a shape that the moon has never made. And that night, her sake tasted worse than it ever has, and it's all your fault. So, that's just great. Thanks for that, you fucking asshole. It doesn't get better either. It only continues to get worse, until one night, she discovers a saline. She immediately decides this is her future.